We are live and we're talking about all the dirty things, all the dirty secrets, all the things that like make you want to poop yourself with a little poo poo emoji. And just like Lexi and I were doing, exactly. Lexi and I were doing my interview series called The Sparkly Truth Project. I know there's lots of sparklies up in here. And we were just like talking about all the things that have gone on in Lexi's life because I was interviewing her and she's like, well, what's going on in your life? I'm like, girl, what isn't going on in my life? So I was like, we knew exactly what to transition and talk about with you guys today. So I will, oh, here we go. Okay. So if you have any questions, if you have any comments, put them in the chat box and we'll hopefully be able to see them. What to transition and talk about with you guys.
Yeah, let us know if you are live, if you're watching the replay. Are you copy and pasting this to share? Or no? Okay.
Yes, for sure. And if you are watching the replay, we still love you to give us some comments, share this with your friends. If you're with us live, share it to your page, share it to your group, whatever. If somebody needs to hear that, they are so not alone with the awkward shit in their life and their business because we are right there with you. What's this?
Awkward turtle. Have you ever seen that before?
Oh, I kind of live under a bubble. In a rock. Under a rock in a bubble. I just said I live under a bubble.
You do live under a sparkly bubble. That's hilarious.
Oh my gosh. So one of the things we wanted to talk about today, and this is, Lexi, have you ever told this story or have you come out about this story about your group program?
Nope. This
okay.
is fresh. Like literally fresh off the press.
Totally hot off the press. So
hot off the press, fresh off the press,
whatever. Hiding under a bubble.
Hiding under a bubble, under the press, whatever. All of it.
With the awkward turtle. And we're back.
Here we are. So am I diving into my awkward?
Yeah, dive in with your turtle. Do turtles dive?
Of course they do. They swim around like woo, woo. Okay. All right. So here's my awkward situation. And this is like literally happening now / I've spoken to the people who it's important that they know about this. So it's not going to be like shocking news to anybody who's in my program. But I had launched a program in October and it was called The Fully Activated Woman. And I was really, really excited about everything that we were doing inside of it. But a couple things that I didn't do right looking back is one, I didn't pre-validate it, which is like a crucial part of creating a course. And I knew that I should have done that, but I didn't do that. And two, I was listening to what everybody else was doing and trying to like emulate their model rather than doing something that I knew was best for me. So this was meant to be a 12-month program. And after 4 months, I called it off. So literally last week, called it off. And it was one of the scariest, most awkward things that I feel like I've ever done inside of my business, because I don't like to be flaky. Like if I create something and I say I'm going to do something, I want to do it. I want to show up. But I found that inside the program, because there's like this like whole 12-month container that felt like so heavy to me. I had put a lot into it. Like every week there was like a certain different like training or modality or this that I was training. It was just a lot of work. And while the concept I loved, I just felt really stifled in my own like creation process and whole 9 yards. Is that a phrase? I don't know.
We're making up our own phrases today.
We're just making up our own turtle phrases. And so I sent out an email to each person inside of it. And I was just like, hey, like, first of all, I just want to say thank you for trusting me. Like, I do not take your trust lightly. Like, you signed up for this experience hoping to get something out of it. And like, I am so grateful that you said yes. And like, I don't think that right now, like the way that I've created this program and the container that it's in, it's the best fit for the way that I work or the best support for you. And after literally like beating myself up over this decision, going back and forth and like talking to a million mentors about it, I've decided that I'm going to complete our time inside of this program. And I basically was like, I want this to close in like the best way possible. So like, let's all get on a one-on-one call together and close it and see if you want to explore a different way of working together, but like it's over. And I just remember like, I like had written the email like almost a month before I sent it. And that's like another awkward thing because like the energy, like we just would continue to get wonky because like I had this thing in mind, but I didn't want to do it because I was so scared of like what they were going to say. Really? I remember like writing the emails and like hitting send to like each of the women just being like, oh, I'm going to throw up. Like, oh my God, are they going to think I'm like the worst person ever? Like what's going to happen? And they're all amazing. And I was shocked by their responses. Like every single person said something along the lines of like, I'm so bummed to hear this. Like I've loved the content inside of it. It's been amazing. But like, I get it. Like I've also felt like it's been like a little bit wonky and people who had been in my courses before, like, yeah, like your courses, like there's something different than this one. And I was like, yeah. And they were like, but we have so much respect for you in the way that you handled this. Like, we absolutely want to talk to you about, you know, like working together moving forwards. And I was like, what? Like, so it went from being this, like, I'm going to throw up, I'm going to shit my pants, like, oh my God, everybody's going to hate me and freaking out about it, to being like the best thing for everybody. And every conversation that I've had with people, it's been so refreshing to hear that they love my support and they still want to work with me moving forwards, even though like that container didn't work out. And I think it's been a huge lesson in sometimes we have to make really tough decisions that, and even if this was unpopular, even if people said like, you suck and fuck you, why would you do this? You promised something, to know that like I had to honor what was best for me because it just like wouldn't have worked out otherwise. And to, from now on, trust myself when I know that 12 months feels like really heavy for me not to do something like that, because that's when it gets awkward. That's when things get like weird. And yeah, I mean, there's like
always been a commitment-ophobe. And when you launched this 12-month program, I was like, okay, like that sounds fun, but Lexi doesn't like to commit to anything. And like, what inspired you to do a 12-month program? Were other people around you doing 12-month program and you're like, oh, that sounds really good. Like I'd stretch out the payment plans. It felt good to have income coming over 12 months. Like, I feel like I love supporting women. Like, you had all good intentions around it, but in your heart, like, you just were not into a 12-month program.
No, like literally like all those reasons, I was like, this makes sense. Like logically, like this makes so much sense. A couple of the women who had joined it, like had bought all of my programs, like were buying over and over again. And I was like, might as well just like serve them in a 12-month container rather than like a 3-week one and then a 3-month one and then But, yeah, like it just, like I do have commitment problems and I just get bored so easily. I don't get bored of the people I work with, but I love like the creation process. Yeah, and I need to be really like excited about like my idea. And so anything that's longer than 6 months for me is like a no-go, at least right now.
So did you offer refunds? Did you offer them to go into another program? What was your resolution to everyone? For those of you who are watching, it's like, I'm not feeling this program, but what do I do? Do I give people their money back? Do I offer them other things? Like, can you talk about like what you did?
Yeah. So like I was very clear like with myself that I wanted this to be like the most seamless, like easy, feel good thing. So I was like, if you've already paid in full, like you'll get a full refund. Like if you've If you're on a payment plan, like your payments like stop now, like there's like no, like, and if you want to continue working together in a different capacity, then like, let's get on this one-on-one call and explore like what that might look like. And so like pretty much everybody is joining me now inside of Craft Your Prosperous course, which is like my next program that I just opened the doors for today. And I mean, this is like literally the best case scenario. Like I was not expecting this to happen at all, but I think it also goes to show that when you do provide a really amazing experience and people are used to that, like they do trust you, even if you get it wrong, or even
if you fuck up, even if you make a mistake, like your people will still be your people.
Yeah, I was joking with someone today on the phone. I was like, thank you for like following me as like I trailblaze and innovate, because like I do tend to like push the envelope or try new things, and sometimes it works amazingly, and so other times like it crashes and burns, and like that's a little bit awkward. But I think people know that I'm always committed to making sure they get everything that they signed up for and more. And if they're not getting that, then I'm going to find another way to make sure that they feel supported. So yeah, it worked out, but it was really fucking awkward when I first decided to do it.
It's so scary. And I know so many people who have killed programs like midway through, and they say looking back on it, it was the best thing they could have done. They said like there was just something that wasn't working, something that just wasn't connecting. It was feeling heavy. It was feeling wrong. Like it was just clouding up space in their head, and looking back on it, it just, they should have done it earlier. But they're so glad that they did and not gone the other 8 months.
Yeah. And interestingly enough, like everybody, well, not everybody, but a couple people that I spoke to even said like it was a relief for them that I did stop it. And I was like, well, first of all, you never want somebody to say like, oh, it's a relief that you're ending this. But like they were saying in the most like, I don't know.
Because they felt that you weren't in it.
Yeah. And like, and it was just, I don't even know how to explain it. Like usually every single program of mine is like so engaged, and like people are so immersed, and like the Facebook group is like blowing up. Like I'm very good at creating community, but it was a much smaller community. People were just like all over the place, and like it just like wasn't this cohesive thing that I thought it was going to be. So it was good to know that like they were aligned with the decision too, and that they weren't like, screw you, I don't ever want to work with you again. They're like, okay, how can I work with you now? Instead, like, well, I love this new offering, and like this feels really good. So yeah, sometimes really awkward things have to happen, and you just need to trust your intuition and your instincts around it. It's going to be best for everybody involved.
Totally. So that is so fresh. Like the wound is so fresh. Like all this just happened. So how do you feel? Like even though it's been a couple days, like how do you feel right now?
I feel amazing. Like I feel so much lighter. Like I feel like it was like this like heavy thing that was weighing on me, like the decision to do it, and just like again, like the energy was weird around it. So like I feel like so free. I feel so excited to reinvent like the way that I'm working with these women inside of like this new course. And it's so funny because like one of them said, or two of them were saying to me, like, it's as you evolve or as you create programs, like it's always exactly like what I need. And like when you launched Fully Activated Woman, like that's what I needed. Like I needed those things. And now that you're doing the Craft Your Prosperous course, like that's where I'm at. Like that's what I really need. And so I'm like, universe works in mysterious ways.
Yes, love it. And it's so awesome how you're coming on and sharing that, because a lot of people would swipe it under the rug. Like a lot of people would be like, oh, nobody needs to know that. Just a few people were in the program. No one was like upset and it's like blasting you all over the internet. Like you could have easily not shared that.
Yeah, I didn't really want to share it, to be honest. Like, just even though it went over well, like I still like there's like a story that I'm telling myself like, oh my God, you fucked up, like you messed up, like you're not perfect, you failed, and you're flaky, and oh my God, people are gonna be like, oh my God, if I join a course of hers, is she just gonna like end it? So there's like all these fears that come through, but at the end of the day, I think it's important to be real about like what happens, and if this has happened to you before, if you're feeling this, like it's okay. And I know now that all my energy can go towards like what I'm creating right now. And it's not like split in all these different directions.
Totally. And it's okay to just not say yes to things that you don't want to do.
Yep, I think I'm freezing, so I'm just gonna quit out of Chrome.
Oh,
Chrome is like the end of my existence.
oh, me and Chrome are friends.
I mean, I love Chrome except when I'm on Zoom, then I'm like a frozen like robot.
Oh no.
An awkward robot turtle.
A robot turtle.
I'm good at that thing.
Watch Lexi and I do the rope.
Dance lessons will be next month. So.
Yeah, Sparkly Truth Project chair dance lessons. Tune in. Give me the shimmy. Do you remember where we were in?
Yes, in Baltimore, and we were at a retreat, and Laura, she couldn't shimmy. Like, she could only do it when she was sitting or standing. Like, she had to like have like a
shimmy her shoulders.
So I was like, ready? 1 and 2, and then you just let it go.
And everyone was shimmying. It was so funny. So if you ever need a shimmy lessons, hit up my girl Lexi.
I got you.
So if you guys are watching and listening, if there's any questions that you have, we're happy to answer them. If you have any stories that you want to share of just like super awkward things to talk about, embarrassing moments, like, and it's always bigger in your head than it is to the world, right? It's always, always, always. So you always create this big, like, worst case scenario in your head, like, oh my gosh, people are going to hate me. Oh my gosh, like, nobody's going to buy from me again. Oh my gosh, like, everyone's going to think I'm this. But in reality, nobody thought that.
Yeah, nobody thought that. And not that nobody cares, but like nobody cares as much as like you do, or nobody's giving it like the mental space and the energy that you're giving it. So we can just like drive ourselves crazy. And maybe this is a good transition to talk about, you know, stories that we make up in our head and stuff and what you're facing.
Oh yeah. So lately I've been doing a couple different things with other entrepreneurs because my 2018, one of my words is collaboration. Like, I love collaboration. I love sisterhood. I love like feeding off other people's energy. And it is sometimes very lonely working from home. So I love the excitement of doing things with other people, like the right people. Mm-hmm. And so I did this collaboration with 2 of my clients. That was super fun. And we did a video and they shared it to my timeline. And while I was doing this video, I kept on seeing like people that I didn't want to see me and hear me up on. Like my husband's friends or just like people from high school. And it like stopped me in my tracks and I couldn't be myself. I couldn't get the words out in a free way. I was focused on, oh my gosh, they don't even know what I do. Like, I don't even know if this person knows I'm a coach. Like, they're going to just think I'm this like weird person talking about making money and having whatever you want. And I was like so freaked out by that. And I don't know, I've just always hid from my timeline. I don't know if anyone else does this, but you can segregate your friend list. Like, you can classify your friend list and like pick who sees your post and who doesn't. And I've always done that. Like, I've never just shared stuff to my page. Yeah. And when I'm super open, when I'm super vulnerable, when I'm doing things, I've always felt really safe on my Instagram. I've always felt really safe in my Facebook group. I've always felt safe, like semi-safe on my business page. But I've never really felt safe on my timeline. So today, when we were talking about going live, I'm like, Lexi, don't share it to my timeline. Don't tag me in it. And she's like, well, what do you mean? I'm like, well, don't you know I always untag myself when you do?
I like literally had never noticed. I was like, wait, what? Tell me why.
And I was just like, I don't know why. I don't know why. Like, I don't know why I care, but I do right now. And it stops me from sharing my message. It stops me from like being me. And that's why I care the most, because if I know like it's on my timeline, I'm like, ah, and it makes me really nervous.
I mean, I get that. Like, I so understand that. I think, am stepping like a little bit more into that, but like there are things that I will not share on my like my timeline that I'll only share inside of my Facebook group, because like that's like safe bubble, like
yeah, totally.
where it's like, you know, cool. Like I remember, I mean, when I go live, like I see people who are like my mom's friend, or I'm like, that's fine, or like a guy that I randomly made out at a bar with like once, like, and I like, like what are you doing here? Or like the most random people, and I think it's kind of funny, but I do notice myself being like, oh my God, I have to pretend to be somebody that I'm not, like the mask, the filter goes up, and it's so interesting to just like notice that and see like how like I want to react, and like I kind of learn a lot from that too. But I'm not fully there yet either, I don't think.
I know. And
this is my personal timeline right now. Hey everybody. Hey, if you're my cousin, hello. Sorry, Jake, love you. You're my husband now. Don't worry. All those other people are nobodies.
And I just like really give those people who can be just, I don't care about my Facebook timeline. Like, I don't care who sees me. I don't care who knows what I'm saying. I don't care if my makeup's not done, if my hair is messy. Like, I don't care if this person sees me. And like, I'm working towards that. Like before I would never go on my business page. Like now I'm more comfortable with my business page. And I could do that. And I know eventually I'll get to my timeline. I know eventually that I'll be there. And this story might come up again, but we were at Thanksgiving, and last time we did the Sparkly Tooth Project, and I was talking about like breastfeeding, and I was talking about like, oh my gosh, my boobs look like tube socks. And like, you know, because that's what happens after you nurse. Like, and, you know, your body changes. And I was talking about all these things. And at Thanksgiving dinner, no, it wasn't Thanksgiving, it was Christmas. Like Michael's family started bringing that up, how they saw that and they heard that. And I was like, oh my God, like, this just made me really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like, it was great. They wanted more. Like, they want to like tune in all the time. And I'm like, I just really am a private person at my heart. Like, by like Holly in her natural state, like I'm introverted, I'm private, and I can get to a point where I'm share and I'm vulnerable and I do things, but it needs to be in like a really safe space.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And to the world doesn't feel safe to me. So I'll get there because I'm gradually taking those steps. But as of right now, I'm not there.
And I think that's okay too. Like, I think we don't have to like jump into things, and we can take it step by step. And you never have to get there if like that's not something that you want to do. I think it's so important that we don't look to somebody and think like, oh my God, like why aren't I like that? Or like, how come I just can't like go out and do that? Like, don't do that to yourself. The comparison game is not a fun game to play. You always lose. So totally. Like, yeah, how can you take the next step that feels good for you, even if it is like a little bit uncomfortable, if it's right? If it's just like doing it to do it, then like don't. But for me, like I know that for me it's really freeing because I've just cared so much my whole life, like what people think about me. And I did do a live the other day where my hair was like like frizzy, like freak attack, like no makeup, and I was like scared shitless of going live, and I saw people coming on. I was like, I don't want you to see me like this, but like whatever. Like, and I mean, I think for me, it's just like continuing to further just like accept myself, like love myself, know that at the end of the day, if like people can't accept me for who I am, then like bye. But again, it's not always easy. Like I still struggle with that myself, so I understand. I totally get it.
Yeah, and I feel like it's not just about like acceptance with myself. I feel like it's just, I don't want anything to get in my head. Like I'm in a really good place right now where I'm feeling like really good, and I don't want other people to defer me from that space. Like I want to really like stay in my lane and stay focused and not worry about that stuff. So it's not like, because I don't want the questions. Like I don't want the texts. I don't want the comments. And I mean, and obviously in my head, that's worst case scenario. Yeah. Because like, I don't know, is there someone really going to text me because they see me go live? I don't know. But it's just like me just kind of staying in my own lane right now. And I am constantly doing things to get out of my comfort zone. I'm constantly doing things to push myself. And I will get there just at my own pace, my own way. And when I'm ready, if I'm not ready, it's not going to like feel good, because I am in tune and understand the difference between like getting out of my comfort zone, ready and unready.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's important to know. Really important to know. I've had a lot of vulnerability hangovers in the past too, of pushing myself out of my comfort zone like too soon. I mean, and sometimes like even though I had that vulnerability hangover, like it was for the best and like it helped me like take that layer off. But yeah, sometimes like it's too fast, too soon, and it's like trusting yourself and what feels right for you.
Totally. Like really being clear on like what's your intention. Like, why would I go live on my timeline? Okay, for more visibility, but are the right people on my timeline? Like, do I really want to be visible in front of these people? If I focus on being on my timeline, am I really focusing on reaching the masses? Because the timeline is not the masses to me. Mm-hmm. So I really like run through those scenarios in my head. Like, why would I want to be on there? Like, what would it benefit me? Like, how would it benefit other people? And right now I'm just like not there. But I love to hang out in my Facebook group. I love to hang out on my Instagram, which is not private. It's a public. So any of those people could easily come across my Instagram and see my whole life, which I don't care. On my business page, there's so many different ways to market. I mean, if you like Twitter, then do Twitter. If you like Periscope, then do Periscope, whatever works for you.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. It is interesting because I do feel like was I saying on this one or the Sparkly Truth, where I was like, yeah, Instagram's like where I get really weird, and that's where I was showing the pictures of black dildos and all that stuff. And sometimes I forget that there are people on Instagram that are like friends too, because one of Jake's mom's friends was like, I saw Jake in his underwear, like on like and like luckily his mom's friends are like very cool and like whatever, but I was like, oh god, shit, like what else has she seen? And that's like kind of terrifying. I'm like, Jake, do your parents or like people like know that I'm in this like sex and relationship certification program? Like what would they think of that? And he's like, I don't know if they do, but we can cross that bridge when it comes. I'm like, great. Perfect.
And you know what? Like you might be the talk of the party for like a second, a day, whatever.
You know what? If it helps people stay entertained, then like you're welcome.
Totally. Well, if you guys have any stories that you want to share about like talking about the uncomfortable, like doing the uncomfortable, like getting out of your comfort zone, this was inspired by the Sparkly Truth Project interview series, which I interviewed Lexi on. We were just like talking about all the real things, and that's going to air in March. But in the meantime, we wanted to share with you something that we've both gone through, that we're both feeling right in this moment, that could probably help you get through something. So that's why we're here today. And you guys, if you haven't grabbed our free gift, it's awesome. It is the 5 pillars to living the sparkly unicorn life, all about Lexi and Holly and how we live this like sparkly life and the practical things of how we actually really do it. And that is bit.ly, the sparkly unicorn life. Super, super easy. You can always go and grab that. If you have not grabbed that, it is a must.
Get your paws, get your hooves on it.
Yeah, your turtle. How do you do the turtle, Lexi?
There we go. It kind of hurts my thumbs. I don't.
I had a 3-legged turtle.
You got a super awkward turtle. It's okay,
I do. My turtle needs some help. So while we're practicing our turtling skills, go grab bit.ly / the sparkly unicorn.
Okay.
What other things can you do?
I can do pig noise that makes the pigs come to me. I think I've done that before online, but
I don't know. I think I've heard it. I don't know if you've done it. Like where you squeal the pigs.
I don't squeal, I oink. So I'll do it right now.
Oh yeah, it's like that. So does this actually work where the pigs come to you?
Yes.
Like, have you tested this? Is this scientifically proven
I
that
have
pigs will
tested
come
it.
to you?
Scientifically proven. I'm not sure what the, but whether it's my smell, whether it's my noises or my, my looks, they are very into me, and they do come when
Is that like an itch in your throat?
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's a lot of people out there who have baby pigs as pets. So,
I
you ever
almost
see?
got one. My roommates ruined it though. When I had roommates, Jake was gonna get me a pig, and they said no.
Oh, so in the near future, not for a little while because you'll be in Bermuda, but maybe down the line, you will have a pet pig.
I don't think so. Kato and Nola are a lot to handle, and they're a little bit more majestic and unicorn-like. So yeah, and they're fluffy and like super cuddly. So I feel like that's more me than a pig. Although if you have a pig and I can come play with it, then I would enjoy that, and we can really bond.
Okay, so if you had a pig, question for you, would you still eat bacon?
Oh, why do you have to ask that question?
Because I don't think I could. If I like had a pet pig, I don't think I could
No,
eat like
I
ribs
don't know if I'm
or
a vegan.
bacon.
I don't know.
I know.
I don't know. My sister's a vegan, so she's watching this. She's like, "You shouldn't eat it anyway," which I hear you. But bacon, I love me some bacon.
Well,
I
on
don't
that note, I know your Bloody Marys wouldn't be as delicious without bacon.
They wouldn't. They really wouldn't. So that's a factor that I really need to consider very carefully. I don't think I'll get a pig for that reason.
Okay, so let us know if you had a pig, would you or would you not eat bacon
Some
or
people may think
butter?
this is
Ham?
incredibly sensitive. I apologize.
Yeah, no, it's totally fine. It's the truth, right?
It's our sparkly truth.
It's our sparkly truth. And thank you guys so much for listening, for being here with us. As always, we love you. We're here for you if you have any questions.
Yeah. Oh, one last thing. I think that there is power in sharing things that are awkward or that you're like embarrassed about or judge, and bringing it to the light. So whether it's in the comments of this video, or if you just like want to get off your chest and message us, or share it in one of our Facebook groups. Holly, your Facebook group is?
Sparklepreneur Tribe. So you could go to bit.ly/Sparklepreneur Tribe.
And mine is a mouthful. It's the Multi-Passionate Magic Makers Queendom. And if you just go to bit.ly/MMM Queendom, I have to shorten it there. I always do things that are like, then you can share in there too. And it's a safe, private space. And I think that it will also be comforting, so other people will be like, oh my God, I feel that way too. Or you're just never alone in this shit. Even when you feel like you're alone in it, you never are. So
yeah, and I just wrote like a really like weird, goofy post in my Sparklepreneur Tribe about what may or may not have gotten re-pierced on my body. So go ahead and check it out.
Can you show us right now?
No, I cannot.
Well, that's really catchy and stuff. I don't have anything to share like that. We have really cool stuff in my group. I'll post a picture of my boobs in my group. Come on over. Just kidding. But maybe.
What Lexi will do for marketing.
Sometimes you got to push yourself out of your comfort zone, you know? All right. On that note,
go see what I have pierced. Go see Lexi's boobs. Maybe or maybe not.
They're not big, but they do the job. What job? I don't know. All right. Now we're leaving.
We're leaving.
Bye,
guys.
Bye.